be. I hope we're all doing really well this Wednesday, the 3rd of September. It's going really quick already. Let me know how your day's going. Let me know what you're up to. Yet again, I'm streaming in a different place this time. This time, my car. In life, we've all got to do what we've got to do to get the job done, and I'm doing it from a car. As I say, I always try to do a show of some description. Now, hopefully, this show is going to be better, and the signal is going to be better tonight. Scott, hi JB, Danny B, big up JB. I hope we're all doing really well. We are on the road. Well, I'm not actually. I'm in a car park. Yeah. So I hope you're all doing really well today. Whatever you're up to, whatever you've been up to today. Yeah. So I thought this morning show was quite good. Lots of things to talk about. The interesting thing for me is basically now, what are we going to do? I have an idea for an ongoing video for your channel. Feel free to hit me up in the send me a message, because then we can then surprise people with the content. But yeah, Scott, mate, feel free. Let me know. So what I've heard today, so tonight's show, again, I want you to have your show. So the evening show, I think, works really well with you guys having your side stuff. I'm yawning again. If you're on X, or send it to the United Devil channel at outlook.com. Yeah, send it there. Send it to the United Devil. I think it's the United Devil channel at outlook.com. If not, I'll give you. I'll put it on one of the messages on the video. So what I heard today, just listening to different things out there, what sparked this today is obviously, I think, one of the biggest bones of contention, and one of the things that's been mentioned quite a lot over the last couple of days, is we wanted a midfielder. So it's been coming out today that, we were looking at Conor Gallagher from Atletico. We were looking at him. So we really wanted a midfield, but we are where we are on that midfield. So what I thought would be really interesting is for you guys to and for me, just to have your say. So we're going to play a midfield pivot, and I do believe that if we had the right two in the pivot, I think the system would work. So for me, the system is not the problem. I'm not talking about the system. You guys, of course you can. This is your show tonight. This is about you telling me what you think. So what I want to know really is what you think Amrin should do with the midfield. Bearing in mind he is going to play too, but I'd be interested to know how you would stack that midfield, and who you would play in the pivot. Now, for me, I've been hearing today that Kone is going to get his chance. You can, Scott, tell me. You can feel free to tell us the title of it. You might as well, mate. Bobby says hello, Bobby, legend of the chat. Yeah, feel free to tell us about it, and let's see what we can do. Maybe we can whet the appetites of the community. You might as well, Scott. So Kone apparently is number 6 in 9, back to the beginning. Interesting. Sounds like Back to the Future, which I love that film, by the way. AY says, who do you think is winning the league? Liverpool. I mean, again, I've seen today a bunch of name a car for an edit. Name a car. Name a car for an edit. Any particular car? I like the Mitsubishi Evo 7, Mitsubishi Evo 5, the GSR version, supercar. I like the, God, I used to know loads about cars. I like the, what do I like? I like the, whatever the new Ferrari is. Is it the FXX? I don't know if that's new. Skyline R34, amazing. I think so. I quite like the Lamborghini. A Porsche GT4, is it? A Dodge. Oh, guys, you guys are coming out with some cars now, aren't you? There's a car called the Vector. The Vector. Oh, what's it called? The Vector. The W16, which is basically two V8s side by side. Yeah, the 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 Pagani Zonda. What else have you got? Ford Fiesta. I quite like a Ford Cosworth. Very, very underrated. I quite like the Lotus Colton. What else do I like? I like the what was the Vauxhall called? The Vauxhall the Vauxhall Nova. The Mariners. What other cars are there that I like? See, I'm more of a 90s. I quite like the Honda NSX, Supra, Subaru. Yeah, I mean, Welltail on the old. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually quite like the Daytona back in the day. Was it the Dodge? I can't remember now, but it's the one with the massive fin from the 70s that used to basically win everything. Also, you got the Ford GT40 as well, absolute classic. I'm not getting into the Palestine stuff. Mate, Zemzan, mate, that is pretty disgusting. I mean, is there any need for that? I mean, that's pretty wrong, mate. I mean, that is pretty wrong. Yeah. What have we got on here? The Shelby Cobra, hell yeah. The GT40, exactly. Shelby Cobra, amazing. How come I don't see all your posts? I don't know, my friend. I don't know. The GT500. Did anybody play Gran Turismo? I used to love that game. I used to spend hours on that game, tuning up cars. Number 2 for me was the best. I used to spend ages in that game. I used to love it. I used to spend ages and ages. I don't see anything about Palestine. Mate, I'm not. Because I removed that. Because someone's been an absolute prat. Need for Speed GT Twin Turbo. That's the GT Twin Turbo on Gran Turismo was amazing. Sticker turbo in that. That was absolutely amazing. And the old Pikes Peak as well on that one was absolutely insane. Anyway, I could talk about this all day long. Maybe we could do a members only show about just talking about, I don't know, random stuff. So today, the reason really why I wanted to go through this is, I've seen a bunch of midfield stuff. I've seen Kone apparently is going to get his chance in this team as well. So sort of, have you seen the R34 Nismo? I have. I do love a Skyline. I'm not going to lie, they are pretty beasts. Yeah, they are quality. So, guys, you just get into the chats. Of course, I'll answer the chats. I'll just rabbit on about the midfield for a little bit. So Kone today. So basically, the reason for the show is I want you guys to basically have your say on this, because everybody else has had their say. I've already seen what midfield exactly. So what I the thing that puzzles me. So I've seen a load of stuff. So you get the transfer window rank. So you get the athletic. Bobby, I think it's a little bit up and down right now. I think the problem is that I think Annan would have to go on loan. I don't think the Saudis know he's getting a pay rise. I can't believe that Onana demanded a pay rise. Absolutely ridiculous. What an absolute clown. I mean, again, as I said, I'm not the biggest fan of these kind of things coming out to kick a player when he's down, but it's just it just goes to show the level of these players, right? Just absolute just clowns. I mean, he must know that he has clangers, right? And then to know he's cost us in the Champions League, to then demand a pay rise, absolutely ridiculous. Notification says United should have definitely bought a new keeper in the market. They did. I don't know. Notification. Have you been sleeping under a rock? I don't know. They did. Whether you want to do my video idea is up to you, but it seems like it could be a good series for the channel. Scott, I mean, message me, and I will take a look, and I'll see what we can do, or I can do on it. But it's intriguing. It is intriguing. The tipping times, he's not down. His problem is he can't get up. He can't get down fast enough. His problem is he's crap. Anana's issue is he can't save. He can't come for crosses. He can't palm it out. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just for the laugh, he's from Belgium. All I see are the two the bozos trying to prove who is the worst. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's quite interesting, actually. That's quite funny. I agree with you. But we do have a brand new goalkeeper, so let's see. Midfield wise, so what I've seen today as well is I've seen this. You get the both sides of this now, right? So we're starting to have this Grimsby stuff. I'm not a United fan, so excuse me from not knowing everything about the lesser teams. No worries. N1 FEA says, did you lose your Manc accent? Yeah, I'm from that well-known part of Manchester where basically everybody sounds like you're from South. You know, the funny thing is about that is that he sold it to me for a super chat. Exactly, Scott. Exactly, my friend. The funny thing is that well-known part of Manchester, Essex. The funny thing is that we've got 1 billion fans, and you do the math. There's not 1 billion people who live in Manchester, so it basically means that the majority of fans are going to be from around the world. It doesn't matter to me where people are from. I have the utmost respect for the match going fans. I'm never gonna detract from that. I think the Manchester United match going fans and the supporters that go home and away have to watch this stuff, who pay their money to physically go to a ground that is crumbling before them, toilets that leak, having to watch this team finish 15th last season. I mean, it's okay for me to pay my Sky subscription and to watch them from the comfort of my home. The match going fans is yeah, mate. I know you're playing, my friend. I know. I know. This season it looks promising from the front to the back, except the goalkeeper very unreliable. Whether it's Onana or Bienda, it's going to be Lemens. Also, that centre midfield, which I will try and talk to, is awful. Manchester born and bred, I am. Scott is the man. I am from Leyland and supported United since birth. I know we've got two proper geezers there. Just for a laugh, what do you make of the statement Shesko released? It seems a strange thing to come out with. Shesko's a young lad, isn't he? I mean, you know, Shesko is a. The thing is with young players, they say stuff, right? Whether it's good or bad, you look at Xerxes from last season, right? I mean, he wanted to go, the fans didn't take to him quickly. Shesko strikes me as somebody who backs himself. He's gone from being one of the Bundesliga's biggest players in terms of what they thought about him, to come into the Premier League and not getting a sniff really. It's difficult for him. I think when he gets his chance, I think he'll take it. But let's see with Shesko. United have one of the best away followings, hands down. Exactly. I'm an Arsenal fan, home and away. And again, do you know what? I take my hat off. To match going fans. You guys pay your money. It doesn't matter like who you guys support in terms of when you come on here. This respect, you pay your money every single game. You whether they win, lose or draw, it's not cheap to be a fan, is it? So I absolutely take my hat off completely. About him not being up to speed, he's improving. It was on Sky Sports. It's I think he's been honest. I like Shesko. I like honesty from players. Cristiano was the same, and I'm not saying that he's like that, but players who can admit that they're not up to speed shows how intelligent they are. It actually shows that they know themselves and they're holding themselves accountable. I do like players like that. Well, he's not much fit. I believe the atmosphere around United is toxic. With one more Premier League loss, Amorim could potentially face the sack. No, I disagree. I disagree with that. I really, really do. He's not getting sacked. Again, go back over some of the shows that we do. It is toxic, and I think it's getting better. I do think it is getting better. I think that toxicity is going or has gone. What I think it is now is confidence. It is confidence. These players have been absolutely hammered. They get hammered every week. It's a mentality thing now. I don't believe it's a toxicity thing. I believe it's a mentality thing. And as for Amorim, mate, people come on here, and as I say, I give you my opinion. My opinion isn't law. I'm not trying to tell you guys what to think, but I'll give you my opinion on that. It is not Amorim. Amorim's going to lose more matches. It doesn't matter to me. I think Amorim needs time. So Henry on the overlap, watch it, right? Because one of the greatest players this league has ever seen, I think, shut up some of the panel. Because Henry, to quote him, not word for word, but basically what he said is that, comparing it to Arsenal, and what he basically said was, the reason why Arsenal fans are annoyed is because they're not getting to finals and they're not winning things. They're not giving themselves a chance to win things. But what he actually said was, the club that people laugh at, as in us, we've been to 5 finals in 5 years. And it's interesting that there's people like Henry that can see that and can actually see that this manager needs time. To basically quote him as well, he basically said that managers need at least 3 to 4 windows, and I think he's talking about summer windows as well. So if one of the greatest players, and people ignore players sometimes, I do, but when you've got one of the greatest Premier League players in Henry saying that, watch, um, these are not Amarin's players. There are 4 players. Leon, I don't count him necessarily because he's a future player. He's got Dorgu, Shesko, Imbumo, Cunha. He's got 4 players out of a 23-man squad. The team finished 15th last season. It is not on him. If he gets the sack, it is ridiculous. Fans need to stop all this. They need to stop this. This is not on Amarin. This is on the players. He would take a few more weeks and it'll be up to running. I agree. Scott, have a look. Thing with United is the shirt is far too heavy for the set plays. Exactly, mate. I don't disagree with you. The shirt weighs heavy. Sometimes the success of the past is, as you say, wears heavy. This is why I think Liverpool are starting to come good again, is because the weight of expectation on them was ridiculous. Then they had that period of 30 years where they didn't win the league, and now they're not tainted by the past anymore, because when I say that is the past was fantastic, but that past is past. It's so past that there's nothing heavy now, and maybe this is what is going to happen to us. I thought he would do well, but look how he's toothless against Grimsby. Grimsby, mate, was a kettle of fish, mate. I'm not going to count that because the whole team was off. I don't blame him for that. I really don't. I'm to Shesko for my shirt. Dad says, why do witches wear no panties? To get a better grip on the broom. Ah, Daz, that's hilarious. Football works in cycles. You'll be back. Exactly. I think we will. I hope it doesn't take us 30 years, but I do agree. I think eventually we'll be back. Galatasaray will be Liverpool. I disagree. GS underscore Ardem, I disagree, my friend. I think as much as Galatasaray, etc., are doing some good deals, you ain't beating Liverpool, mate. Let's not forget, and I don't say this in a disrespectful way, the Turkish league, even the top teams in the Turkish league, mate, they are at best mid-table Premier League teams. Liverpool will smash them. Why are Arsenal having their? When are Arsenal going to have their cycle? GS smoking that good stuff. Quite clearly, Turkish Super League is below the quality of the SPL. So Galatasaray beat Liverpool. Stop chatting. Liverpool old school. I agree with you, my friend. Think we welcome more fans on here, right? But one of the things that I will always say on here is that we're very logical, or I am. I try not to be too biased, which is difficult being a United channel, right? But I've got to say it sometimes as I see it. Liverpool, one of the best teams in the world, you could argue. Over the next couple of years, they're going to be. Okay. Galatasaray, of course they could win. Of course they can. But to say that Galatasaray are going to beat Liverpool, I disagree. Chester was a season ticket holder from the age of 8. A few European finals, especially Barcelona '99. Got photos age 18. Only got 4 kids, but seeing your kids being born is the best thing. I wouldn't agree with that. No. I get what you mean, Mark. I mean, yeah, I do. I do. I actually had a hand in my first child being born. Literally had a hand in it. Yeah, that wasn't so much pleasant, but I agree. Nothing beats your family and your children. Some people may disagree with that, but no, I agree with the sentiment in there. I want whatever GA is smoking. Feel sorry for Onana. I hope he stays forever. All right, mate. This is how our defense Singo laughs at your Isak. Adam, mate, I admire, but you do know this is not a Liverpool fan channel. Or that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. More than happily banter, but you're in the wrong place for that, mate. None of us on here are going to rise. Even Liverpool fans are not going to rise to that. Even United fans feel sorry for that statement. I believe again with more chance in Europe. Not that I'm ruling out a title or silverware. I agree. Gyökeres needs to start doing what he was bought for. Once he starts firing, don't forget, we're only 3 games into the season, right? We're only 3 games into the season. You know, anything can happen. European final 99, FA Cup, Premier League is right up there in my life. That final, 16, watching that final, I remember that final like it was yesterday. It was unbelievable. Who wins the Premier League this year? I've seen it all. We're laughing at a player who actually played, though. Plus, you're trying to find a manager who's good as Sir Alex. Not going to happen. That's never going to happen. You know, I think we have to say this, and people can disagree with this. There is no manager like Ferguson. You know, it just doesn't happen. He's a once in a lifetime coach, you know, and he's not just a coach. You know, Pep. There's this rhetoric that Pep is better than Fergie. It's total nonsense. Fergie was just. It was a different time. It was a different league, different era, different club, different time. And what Fergie did cannot be replicated. But again, the world has moved on from that time. So Fergie is, you know, you could argue, you know, you've got Paisley, you know, you've got just trying to think of the managers that Liverpool had, you know, you had Cloughy, you know, you've got all these era defining managers, but they're a time. So now it's more about coaches, right? So again, you do make a good point, but I think if we're striving for another Sir Alex, then we're going to lose that battle. Our defenders, Davinson Sanchez and Singo will laugh at your Isak just like the end of the match. Oh, my friend, that's ridiculous. Sanchez, the failed Spurs player, exactly. Fans and media need to stop blaming the manager for everything. I agree. I saw the Grimsby match. The players look so low in energy. They deserve the blame. I agree with you. Dude, you don't know. This is Ali Semi Yen. Welcome to hell. Liverpool won't care. Liverpool won't care. They'll play you off of the park. Liverpool won't care, mate. You can welcome to hell, but Liverpool will absolutely spank you. United Matters said hi. Hello, my friend. Wazzy Edits. Hello, my friend. Stephanie says, is this an episode of Car Share? It's a single car share. It's just me. Yeah, you know, life takes over. And as I say, I would do my best to pretty much stream from anywhere. I feel like I have an obligation to this channel and to you guys to pretty much try and stream when, if I can. It's something that I love to do. Yeah, so car share, I love it. Not many clubs I despise more than Galatasaray. GS, you have hit your head. Just seek medical help. You'll be suffering some poor judgment. Exactly. No spamming. You'll get removed. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Exactly. If you're in the chat, don't forget to give us a like, favorite, and subscribe. It genuinely means so much to the channel. It helps us out. It pushes this channel out to the community. You know, we get some amazing people on here. Liverpool fans, Newcastle fans, Arsenal fans. I do genuinely find that the majority of Liverpool and Arsenal fans on here are really nice guys. I mean, and girls, of course. I generally am very, very lucky with the rival fans. You get the odd one or two idiots, but you guys are respectful, and you can't ask for more than that, really. I hope you did or wouldn't have been your child. No, just for laugh. What I actually mean by that is I actually birthed my child. Yeah, I was at that end. We were at home, and the ambulance didn't come, and my wife went into labor really, really quickly, and I basically brought baby into the world. Yeah, so that was yeah, that was interesting. If that, I had a look and like what I've likened childbirth, and I apologize if this offends anybody. It's not supposed to, but one of the sayings is like watching your wife or your other half give birth is like watching your favorite pub burn to the ground. That's always stuck with me. Already a 2 point gap, exactly. I'm a Chelsea fan, and I can say that United has caused chaos here in Africa, has caused more chaos here in Africa than hunger. Being Kurriger, I mean, I mean, I shouldn't really laugh at that, but that's an interesting take, my friend. Jesus, I need to get my light back on. Um, I seen Pep could get sacked. I mean, oof, I think Pep should walk. To be honest, I always hate you lot, but I guess the respect is there. You know, the I've always got to say this, right? I don't hate anybody, right? And I know it's banter, right? Um, but I genuinely don't hate rival fans or rival. Well, there's one club I despise. I wouldn't go as far as hate, but there is one club that I absolutely despise. You can guess who they are. Liverpool, utmost respect. Rivals. I think what's happened to that club in the last couple of months. Just total respect. You know, envious completely. Arsenal as well. I remember the battles. In recent years up until Arteta. Again, up and down team. But again, I just wish that we were part of that again. I'd love the battles. I mean, for me, the Arsenal game reminded me a little bit of the old school game. I just wish that we could do that every single game, but obviously we can't. Rafa, King Kenny, United does have a big fan base. We do, the bias and welcome. Actually, I've just reminded myself on the 50th game at Old Trafford, you utter. uh, that's maybe so Bro needs to stop glazing his club and accept the truth. They aren't beating Liverpool any day. I don't like Liverpool, but yeah, I agree. Glory days has gone. New era, struggling since 2013. The same name, different team. We need to cut through soon and find an opening and make the fans happy. Exactly, Mark. I think we've gone through what Liverpool went through, and we need to find a way. And I don't think we're going to find a way until these leeches absolutely f off from the club. Dumb programmer says United turn up for big games though. We could get a point. Exactly. It's mentality, isn't it? These players for me are low mentality players, and what I mean is they can get up for the big games, but Gunnar Grimsby on a cold, rainy, was it September night, they just can't do it, mate. They just can't do it. John Fire says, bro, no prem till next week. I know there isn't England game, I might do a watch along for that. I don't know. I know what you meant about the child. Lol. Feeling sorry for the guy. He won't be cutting his hair maybe in his lifetime. You should answer your comments. I'm trying to. Do you know how many comments there are now? I'm trying to answer the comments, my friend. Won't be this season. I respect you and you go live. You listen, look, and answer text. Maybe GoBridge wants money. He will respond. I mean, look, the channel is monetized. There are super chats, whatever, but it's on there simply because the channel has got to that size, right? I don't care. I mean, I'm more of a man of the people, and I get for these chats. You guys made the channel. Yeah. Winter window needs a midfielder. I agree. So Go Bridge legend. Many people think so. I'd say 2 million people think so. There's no argument from me. Nothing that I can say about Mr. Goldbridge. Legend in terms of what he started. Doesn't mean that you got to necessarily agree with everything that they do, but yeah, now that Cunha is injured, Kobbie will get game time. Different position, I don't know. They play in different positions. Glazer's out. Francesco gonna Mason Mount. Xerxes, Dorgu not going to international break. I hope so. Mark, I know, mate. I'm a member of TUS who will only answer to super chat. JB gets through every comment if he can. Exactly. I tried to. We made this league. Arsenal, United would always be the one. I agree with you. Breaking Cunha, not injured. He won't travel international football. I hope not. CR7 says, hi. Hello, my friend. GS Erdem says, dude, you will have to admit it. Ali Sami Yen is tough away game. Arsenal couldn't get out of here. Madrid couldn't. Should I count more? I don't disagree. I don't disagree that your ground is a terrible place to go. I respect the team, but I do think slightly delusional. I think Liverpool are a different beast. 2 England games, Saturday and Tuesday. I might do one of them. I might do Tuesday. Breaking Cunha, not injured. He is in gym. Yeah, I heard that. Lucky as well. The injury might not be as bad as first thought. That's it. Take your medication. Remember Copenhagen, you got slapped about all day. GoBridge will respond if you pay, so not a legend. So GoBridge, hate GoBridge. You're not a fan of GoBridge, Bobby. You are delusional. Who is? What, me? What team would you play against City if you was in charge? So Mark, what team would I play? I'd stick Lamens in goal. I would give him confidence. And what I say is I'll give him confidence just to play him in the game. Just say, look, you are the number one, get in goal. I'd go Dorgu. I'd go. Oh yeah, okay. This is what I'd do. I'd go Dorgu. I'd go Heaven. I'd go Delict, and I'd go Delict, and I'd go Yoro. I'd go Ahmad, and then I'd play Mazraoui in the more of the defensive midfield role, and Bruno. I'd play Xerxes if Cunha's not fit, Mbumo and Shesko up front. I would just go for it. I would just absolutely go for it. All United fans are delusional. Do you watch the channel? If you listen to this channel, and I've listened to other channels as well. I mean, they do say some good stuff. There's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of people out there that speak sense. On here, if you listened to this channel and these people on here, these amazing people on here, we are not just I just watch this channel. That's all I'm saying. I watched him a couple of times, but he's a bit nasty to his own community. I think it's hard. I do think it's hard for Goalkeeper sometimes, and this is not in defence. And again, I mean, I'll talk about, you know, it must be difficult, when you get to a certain level. At the end of the day, he does transcend what the United channel that he does. It must be difficult. I mean, he's been doing it for 10 years, a load of abuse constantly. I get it. But the one thing for me is that I think your community, I think is you can be annoyed and we can disagree on stuff, but I just think that the lifeblood of your club, fans, your lifeblood of your channel is your community. And whether you disagree or not, I think that ultimately, I think getting annoyed with your community, if it's abuse, then fine. But I truly believe in, you guys are the lifeblood. Oi, Bobby, GoBridge slander will not be tolerated. Well, notification, this is my channel. GoBridge, if people want to slate him on here, that's up to them. I'm not going to necessarily back it, but mate, this is not his channel. This is mine. And if people want to say what they like on that one, they can. If that's not for you, then obviously feel free to go and watch Mr. GoBridge. They said 2-6, like the bottom six exactly. Couldn't it smash his confidence? It could do. It could do. But I'd rather get him in goal. I know that, but I'd rather just sometimes. Is it not better to give confidence to a person by saying, look, we don't care. We know that you're not going to be. We know that you're not going to be you might be, but we know it's going to take time, right? So what I would do is I'd go, look, we believe in you from the first day, so we're going to put you in goal. Whatever happens, you are going to go in goal. I think that's what I would do to instill confidence, but I don't disagree with it. It's so difficult. It really is. I'm a fan of the United Devils channel. Respect you. Thank you, Mark. Glazers out. I can focus on my plays and goals. Must watch a brick wall with a TV painted on it. Every fan channel do it because they are passionate about the club, so they do it for the best of the club at the time. Exactly. Everyone has an opinion. Some have a platform to voice it. Yes, they do. Also, great channel. Thank you. Isn't that what Amarin did all last season? Play the formation he wanted to, regardless of results. Look how that went. Yeah, but and again, I'm not going to be a hypocrite on that. What I have said is that Amarin shouldn't change a system, and we shouldn't change a system for these low IQ players. 100% not, right? I agree with that statement. But there has to come a time, if these players can't play your system, will he tweak the system? And if he, I get it. I get the principles of the man and what he's going to do. He's going to live by his principles, and he's going to live and die on the principles. And I admire that. I do. He doesn't have the personnel to play this system. Why should he change? He's been brought in to play his system, and why shouldn't he play his system? I get he should tweak it, but I admire somebody who's not prepared to remove their principles for the sake of people who can't do their jobs. Bro, let's skip United because they're not going to do what you say. That makes sense to me, my friend. Let's skip them because they're not going to do what you say. They're not going to do what I say, but when you've been supporting a club for 38 years, it's part of who you are, right? I'm 42 years old. I've been supporting them. I've known this club longer than my wife, longer than my kids, longer than anybody else has been in my life. I followed them pretty much every single game, laughed, cried, kicked stuff, been annoyed. this has led me to you guys on here as well now. It's such a big part of my life, such a big part of my Saturdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Sundays, Mondays. It's just, yeah, you know, it's a non-negotiable for me. But if you fair weather fans out there are just gonna skip on a club because you finished 15th, if they don't sign the players that you like, that's on you. That speaks about you. Doesn't mean you're bad people, doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That's just what you believe in. What I believe in is loyalty. Sometimes it gets tested in life, but yeah, only 42 while you've aged badly. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Only 42 while you've aged badly. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that, friend. Yeah, thank you. How many windows does Amarin need before his system is set? I reckon he needs probably about 4, mate. I'd say he probably needs 4 windows. Rich, I don't think he'll have enough windows. He'll be sacked before then. Maybe De Ligt and Van Dijk. I've had 17 duels in 3 games. Who would you have with De Ligt, Lenny? Definitely who's your next defender in 3 at the back against City? I think we need... I mean, he's going to play Luke Shaw. That's fact. He's going to play Luke Shaw. I'd probably put Mazraoui in there, but I wouldn't mind seeing Mazraoui as a defensive midfielder type. For me, it's who's going to play next to Fernandes, and I'll full circle back to the whole point of the video as well. So I think Mazraoui maybe, but it's a toss up. I think Mazraoui needs to play if he's fit, but I think he'll play Luke Shaw there. People don't like I support the manager. I do. I do. What do you? I support him also. I agree. Is the Butcher injured? Just for the laugh, the Butcher, mate. I would honestly, I would forget about him. I don't want to. It's not. I don't want to forget about him. But I'm sad to say that I think he's dusted, mate. I think he's gone. He was supposed to be back now. He's not going to be back until October, I believe. The Butcher, unless I'm wrong, I could be wrong on it, but I think that the Butcher is done. I think the week in, week out Butcher, I think he's done, my friend. Lucky, ignore them, mate. They're just haters, exactly. I am the manager support, exactly, my friend. So going back to City game, and I think probably the midfield. Rick says, in truth, I believe we all support Amarin. It's just painful to. I agree with you, my friend. I agree with you. But Luke Shaw's injury prone too. Just for the laugh, I agree with you, mate. I am not a Luke Shaw fan. I'm not. If you're asking me who I would sell, I'd sell Luke Shaw, Mason Mount. Mason Mount is injured again. Significant injury again. Apparently it's 3 weeks out. This is what I mean about Mount. When everybody was saying, "Oh, Mason Mount is brilliant," I held myself back because as much as he's played okay, I think he's been good. He's going to get injured again, and he's injured again. I'd sell Mount if Mount came back any sort of fitness back into the club. I would sell Mason Mount. I'd sell him as well. Mainoo, it needs to be picked. I don't disagree. Mainoo has a good game against City, so yeah, I don't disagree. Turkey or Poland, I don't care. Sorry, mate. If I had to pick one, Portugal, only because Fernandes plays for them. Is no disrespect to Turkey. I don't know Turkey players. but Portugal for me. I don't know what's happened to Mount. He looked a world beater at Chelsea. I don't understand the Palmer swap. How wrong I was. Mason Mount, mate, he's got a career-ending injury. We manage his minutes. It was well known at Chelsea, and we paid £55 million for him. That's why they sold him. He's got a potential injury that can end his career at any time. It's some sort of pelvic problem that can't really be fixed. He's going to need an operation. Mason Mount is not going to play till he's 30. Fingers crossed he can, but Mason Mount is long-term wise, he is not it. I hope he can go for as long as he possibly can, but Mason Mount is out again for 3 weeks. I think you pretty much. I think it's probably a month or two. So Mason Mount is out again. Alistair says, Kone, he was the first one Ruben recognised, and we can talk about that as well. Let's get through these chats and we can talk about the midfield. Teruvin says, we need to stop making excuses. The club has been managed very poorly for a decade. I think you'll find 20 years, mate. How much money have we spent? How many players have come and go? How many managers have come and go? Do you know what? All really, really, really valid points. We've been managed terribly. We've spent our own money terribly. We haven't been given money. Yes, we spent £1 billion. I'm just going to say this straight off of the bat. And this is not a dig at Chelsea. This is a dig at City. City cooked their books. Spent billions of pounds on their club. And yes, they won stuff. They spent their money well. We earned our own money. We weren't given any money at all. Liverpool, you can argue that as well. Arsenal, they've earned their own money, spent it. Chelsea, this is not a dig at them, but they were given money as well. Earned it through player sales as well, but ultimately were given money. We spent our money badly. We've got owners who don't want to invest in this club, invest in this team properly. They've taken money out. We're £1 billion in debt. Toxicity behind the scenes. I know a couple of people who have worked there. I knew somebody that worked in the reception desk as well. They got fired. And basically, one of the people that I knew who worked there maybe 3 years ago, basically said that you'd be surprised. Even things like the internal systems, the computer systems that they use were like old systems. Everybody wasn't happy. It wasn't a happy campus. I don't know what it's like now, but yeah, it's a very, very toxic place. Nikaritsu, legend of the chat, my friend. Mount as reliable as as chocolate not melting. Exactly. Scott says Mount doing Mount things as per usual. Exactly. Just for laughs says, why didn't that get picked up in the medical? But good point. Good point. I don't know. Whether it's been known and it's there, and whether we just took the punt on it, I don't know. But apparently it's been well known, but we still did the deal. You'd have to ask the club, my friend. I don't know. Messi or Cristiano? What I'll say on that, Ines, is Messi is a gift from if you believe in God, if you believe in what, Messi is a gift. Ronaldo is the epitome of hard work. My loyalty would be to Cristiano because I watched this kid from when he destroyed us at Sporting all the way through to now. For me, he is my guy. But Messi is an absolute gift and a genius. Who would you sign to make the team better at the end or get towards the end of the season? It really depends on what injuries we have. I would go for a midfielder. Gallagher, if he's still available, possibly Stiller if we can get him, Agume if we can get him as well, but we won't do that in the window. So a midfielder is needed for me. I'd go for that. Adam Bond says, should we have kept McTominay and Alanga? Now, Adam, those are very, very good points, my friend. Very, 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 very good points. Okay, I'm going to say no. And the reason why I'm going to say no on that is because if they had stayed here, they just wouldn't have progressed. I mean, McTominay possibly would have been one in this team. Agreed. Alanga had to go. I mean, he wasn't going to get the game time. You know, should we have kept them? With hindsight, of course we should have, but you can't predict the future. I'm glad for those players. I think they made the right choices for their career. McTominay, I couldn't be prouder of the lad. I think he is just phenomenal. Well done to him. But we were using these players wrong. With hindsight, yes, but we couldn't at the time. I'm just pleased for them that they've moved on. Messi all day, 100%. McTominay definitely should have kept. You know, I can't disagree, but what I admire about him is that he wanted to further his career. Stop spamming. Yeah, people are wallies, aren't they? I encourage news. Mason Mount and Burmo. Do you know what the Glazers bought United for and what money they've made? So Ricky B, I think they bought the club for. I think our original debt was about 450 million. I think that's what they bought the club for. I think I might be wrong on that one. But then they leveraged debt. So I think they bought the club for about 425 million, 450 million. What money have they made? I think they've made about, I think with dividend payments and everything like that, I think it's around about £1 billion. Yeah, they are leeches. They are, and now because we've never paid off the debt, the debt is up to about £800 million. You know, just they could have paid off that loan, but they decided not to. Arteta out. Our set piece FC. No, I disagree with that, mate. Spiritual poem. Arteta can't be out, can he? I mean, no. I mean, be careful what you wish for in regards to that. I mean, Arteta's done a good job. Should have kept McTominay. Huge mistake. 1.2 billion has been spent on the debt repayment, dividends, and payments to the Glazers family. Exactly, mate. They've cost us billions of pounds. They leverage debt. That is what they base their career on. That is their business, is that they leverage debt. They don't. That is what billionaires do. Billionaires are not billionaires because they spend their money. Billionaires don't spend money. They use an asset to make money and buy like assets with it. So they use the Tampa Bay, basically the money, to leverage debt and buy the club. That is what they do. Arteta has had 7 seasons, but won FA Cup. 790. The Glazers paid for. Was it 790? Was it? I thought it was lower than that, but thank you, Scott. Who will Champions League do you think? Liverpool, Madrid, City, Arsenal might have a shout. So, okay, so Ricky, so they bought it for 790 and have got their money back from interest payments. Yeah, 1.2 is unbelievable, exactly. But the thing is, though, Ricky, is that they bought it for 790, but they haven't got their money back because they've never paid for it. Like, so what you got to understand, Ricky, and I'm sure you do. They bought the club for 790 million. They didn't buy the club, right? So the bank has bought the club, right? They only pay interest on the money. The interest is paid from the club, and they take dividends from the club. So they haven't got their money back in terms of they've not paid a single penny. They don't pay for. They've never paid for the club. The club pay interest on servicing the debt, but they take money out of the club. So they've actually never paid for the club. They've never put interest payments. They've never paid a penny on the debt. They've never paid a penny on the interest, and they take money out of the club. Let that sink in. Glazers, hugely leveraged club. They didn't actually invest a single penny. Exactly, Rick. They've made billions. Exactly. Who will be Champions League? Do you think? Go. I think I've answered that one. Glazers out. Who will be champions of the league? If you keep spamming, I'm going to chuck you out. Got gaming. What do you mean? Tyreen says, we are saying Liverpool have spent lots of money. The fact is that Liverpool is very well managed. Exactly. A lot of Slot, for example, has come in first season, make a big signing and win the league. Liverpool have been run, this is, yeah. I mean, it can't be argued. They've been run extremely well, and we haven't. And that is the difference, is that they've got owners who are willing to invest. We've got owners who couldn't give a crap about our club. Arsenal bought a couple of 100 million and worth 4 billion. Great deal. Exactly. Ask fans where the new stadium investment facilities, the debt is leverage. Exactly. It is. Mason Mount, Dorgu and Amarin. How can you leverage debt? Well, you leverage debt against your assets. So, for example, they leverage the debt. Well, they leverage the debt against the club. So they leverage the debt against brand. So they basically got the money because they know that they can pay interest on that money. So the bank know that if they didn't pay the money, then they've got a brand that is worth what? United are worth what? £5 billion. It's like when you take out a loan and they ask you how much you earn, and then they know how much to give you, and you pay an interest rate based on that, right? So it's no different. They've basically gone and asked for a loan, well, as opposed to if you or I went to go to a bank and ask for a loan for a car, and they go, right, okay, you pay monthly payments, but with an asset like that, they're just like, well, you pay us interest payments. You don't necessarily have to pay us the money back, the actual capital of the money that you've lent. As long as you pay interest on that, they're not bothered. The bank could foreclose, and then they'd actually own the club. So a loan of, was it 790 against a club worth £5 billion and a revenue of 600 million a year, the bank are cashing in. Like the bank know they're going to get their money back, and they're making 50 million pounds a year. Yeah. Will Onana go to Saudi? I hope so. So Jamie Vargas, legend of the chat. No use wondering how much money the Glazers have taken out. They own it and can cash out. Exactly, Rick. But we need to keep them accountable 100%. Radcliffe saved the Glazers. Exactly. Let's get right. Yes, 790 they paid and made 1.3 billion. And the worst thing about that, Scott, is that they've never paid a single penny in interest, never paid a single penny towards this club. I look at our team, and without being rude, we're a shadow of our former selves. We're shopping at Liverpool, shopping at Steph. Jamie Vargas, do you think Shaska will finally start in our next Premier League match? I don't know. After the statement today, I don't think he will. I don't think he's still quite there. Let's see, though. Exactly, the leverage the debt is completely the opposite of what Sheikh Mansour did. Exactly. Yes, Jamie Shaska has to start. Talking about the Glazers makes me depressed. Me too. He needs to start. United Devil Glazers run out money. Oh mate, I could rant on this forever. Sean Tweed says, "What does it feel like living on past history? Life support machine." I don't know who you support. it's really funny. I don't know who you support, and this is not a dig at Liverpool fans on here, by the way. But obviously, if someone's going to come on and give us stuff, I'll give it back. You want to talk about history? The only, Arsenal have not won the Premier League in 20 odd years. Liverpool have won the league for the first time in. I'm going to take it off here and put it on here. Liverpool have basically won the league twice in 35 years. So other than City, other than Chelsea, other than United, most other teams are living on past. So I think you're talking out of your arse there, Sean. That's how billionaires exactly. The thing I don't understand is Jim Radcliffe saying that they don't have any money with the Neville interview. They spend over 200 million, and they've got a credit facility as well. So they're just talking crap, aren't they? The emails you gone dogging, dude. Need to sort out the lighting. Yeah, I know, mate. No, I've not got a no. I'm waiting for my my daughter. She's going to a club tonight, so yeah. A far worse team. I only live 10 miles away. So do you live in Manchester or 300 miles away? What does that matter? What does that matter? It doesn't really. Oh, so you support shitty then, do you? Yeah, that explains a few things. We need PFI, an ideal world, to sell Newcastle and write the Glazers an £8 billion check. I'm from Manchester, Sean. I will laugh when Victor Osimhen and Leroy Sané score. Now you laugh. He who laughs last. Mate, I really couldn't care. We're not in the Champions League. This is not a Liverpool channel. Honestly, go and find a Liverpool channel, and I'm sure they'll put you straight. I'm not bothered. Liverpool, I respect them, but I'm not really bothered about what they do, really. I like the people that come on this chat, but I really couldn't care less about what they do on the pitch. We're in a different league. We're not competitors. We're not even in the Champions League. So, I really couldn't care less. So guys, I am going to go. I don't think we got onto the topic tonight of midfield, but that's last won a trophy in 2003. If our team invested 2 billion in the squad, I'm sure we'd have won a few more too. So you're an Arsenal fan then, are you? I don't know. All the best, and thank you again for the stream. Yeah, guys. Thank you for being here as always. Do another show tomorrow. Yeah, Mainoo and Fernandes should start. I agree. Actually, I think they should. Mate, no problem at all. Thank you guys for being here. Sean, we could have won every season if Sheikh Mansour had bought us. Exactly that. The one thing, guys, I'd always say, I'm never going to get bored of saying it, is in life, the one thing you can't buy is time. I'm sat in a car, looking over a field, and you guys are with me. You've been with me since the start. You're with me if I'm in a car, if I'm, at home, wherever I am. You guys are here for the journey as well. And remember in life, you can't buy time, you can't buy health. And the fact that you're sharing that with me, even if it's banter, even if you're new, even if you stick in a comment, it does mean a lot to me. And you've chosen to spend your time with me, with this community. This community on here that we've built is amazing, and I can only thank you so much. So have a good rest of your evening, afternoon, day, wherever you are, whoever you support. There's no malice here. Banter's cool. Look after yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Take care.
and I'll see you on the next one.